This is the crystal ball question that I'm getting asked all the time. What is the next 24 months of development? And for the first time in my career, I will tell you it's not a one size fits all approach. This is very asset type specific. And in fact, when we look at senior housing, it's very different when we're talking about our low acuity active adult and going up all the way through senior living. It's two very different reasons. So let's start with lower acuity active adult. What's happening in the next 24 months of development? This is a 2-column approach to how we look at this. One, everybody is talking about the gray wave, the silver tsunami. The oldest boomers are turning 80 this year. And so if I'm looking to attract a resident that's 65 to 72 in an active adult community, we are just starting to hit that demand wave. But the hard part is that our residents don't know what active adult is still. We have an identity crisis as an industry of what active adult is. And so when they're looking for options for living, they don't know that it exists. They think their options are sell their home, move into conventional multifamily, go into independent living, and by God, we don't need senior housing yet. I don't need a needs-based care setting. And so active adult falls kind of in this gray area that people don't know about. As we get into the next 5 years, and that becomes more of a household name terminology of active adult age-restricted housing, our penetration rate is going to get higher than it's been, which is 1% or less for penetration into active adult. And so when we're looking at demand for development, it really is not only a demographic, but a psychographic story of who are our consumers? Do they start knowing who we are? And can we increase that penetration rate? And as those things happen, the demand for development and new units of active adult will absolutely exist because we don't have enough supply right now. We have just over 100,000 units of active adult, and that's not enough to meet the actual demographic supply that's coming down the pike. When I look at senior housing, it's a very different story. We have a demand that's here with the aging population, and we have supply that's been constrained for several years. We had a small uptick after the pandemic, and then the last 3 years of development have really been next to nothing. So we have a market where we have low supply, high demand, and we're getting to the point that the acquisitions and the value of acquisitions that investors have been looking at for those value add opportunities are really starting to shrink. And so we've had cap rate compression, pricing increases on senior living that have started to close that gap on new development pricing. And really in the next 12 months, not even 24, in the next 12 months, we're really going to start to see that wave of new development of senior housing increase for the first time in 5 years. Having enough senior housing, and when I say that, I'm really talking about a needs-based setting, is incredibly important because we are having 2 demographic generations converge here. We're having the millennials and the boomers, 2 of the largest generations. The millennial generation is coming into that sandwich generation that Gen X is in right now. They're taking care of kids at home. They're at the peak of their career. Their parents are aging. On top of that, we have the boomer generation that is just starting to get into lower acuity needs. As I mentioned before, they're turning 80 this year. Our average age for move-in into senior housing is between 82 and 85. So we have a couple year runway here to really plan. But in the next 5 years, we're going to see this wave of needs-based housing being in demand where we do not have enough supply in this country to meet that. And a sandwich generation with the millennials that, quite honestly, don't have the capacity to handle raising the kids, the height of their career, and taking care of their parents. That's just the reality that we're in. Now, that being said, the types of senior housing that exist today that will meet the demands for the boomers and their millennial and Gen X children just don't exist. What is built today and the product that exists will not meet the consumer preferences of the incoming generation in senior housing. So you have 2 things that are really important and why we need new construction and new development in senior housing. The product we have right now, we don't have enough, just in pure numbers. And 2, what is built is not going to be the type of senior housing that demographic wants. And so we have to look to new builds to create that new environment that will really be inviting for the boomers to move into in the coming decades.